I just got the military 4s in and I cannot wait to look at this shoe. Let's go ahead and unbox these things. Now that we got a look at the packaging, let's also compare the details of this shoe to the Reimagined Air Jordan 4s and the SB Air Jordan 4s. I want to go through some quick glimpses of these and give you guys a quick breakdown, and also talk about what I think about how they stand up to these other models and give you guys my first impressions, because I haven't actually seen these in hand yet. So I'm excited to go through all the details because I heard there's a lot of different small switches when it comes to these three models. When you look on the box label, it says off-white military blue. So they're still going with the military blue branding, but for some reason they're trying to title the name of the shoe for a different reason, which I'm sure all you guys understand why they're getting rid of the word military, which you kind of know where they're going with that one. So either way, let's talk about the outsole of the shoe real quick. On here, you have your classic Air Jordan 4 outsole, and you're gonna have your Nike branding instead of your Jumpman like the previous retros, which don't worry, I'll give you guys a full in-depth history and breakdown and comparison video with all the other models from the past. Now going up to the midsole right here, you have your two-tone midsole, all blue on the top and white on the bottom half. And then on the front of the shoe right here, you're gonna have that military blue as well where the pinky toes sit. Also, like most people know, the Air Jordan 4 has a visible air unit on the back end, and that's gonna be a white air unit on there. And then going to the upper, you're gonna have a mixture of a couple of different materials. You have more of a nubuck like material on the front end, and then you're gonna have a flat leather on the vamp and around the sides and back panels of the shoe. Now this does have the OG cut from 1989, and that's something that I really love. And again, I cannot wait to show you guys the comparison and detail differences between these and the previous retros. So again, stay tuned for that in the future. But when it comes to these, the Reimagined 4s and the SB 4s, they are definitely very similar when it comes to the shapes and cuts. And we know that the SB 4 is a little bit different than the Reimagineds, but a lot of people are saying that the military blues are basically identical to the SBs. So I definitely want to put these side by side later in the video to see if they actually are similar or not, because technically the SB is configured a little bit differently on the inside of the shoe. So maybe the outside of the shoe also has some slight differences when it comes to the overall presentation besides the actual SB logo on the back of the shoe. And speaking of the back of the shoe, look at that heel tab. This is the first time ever since the original release, besides the what the 4s because I was like partially the shoe, but the full military blue 4s with the Nike Air, we have never seen this since 1989. So this right here is a huge staple, a huge stamp, and I cannot wait to show you guys the comparison video with all the OG 4s, and my dad's gonna be in that one. You guys are gonna enjoy that one a lot. Now wrapping up to the side of the shoe, you can see you have two different materials with the suede and then the leather, but also when it comes to this leather, it's not like a pure white and it's not like a cell white. It's kind of like a light gray, bluish gray type color to it, that it has that hue. So hopefully you guys can see that in the images. And if you look at the white cement Air Jordan 4s side by side next to these, you can definitely tell, obviously not the shape, but the actual color of the material. You can see that the leather is a lot different color shade on here. Hey yo, just real quick, I wanted to let you guys know we got a bunch of new merch on the website, shopdnashow.com. Also, you guys can click on any of the links of the product tag just below the video here if you're watching on your mobile devices. I can't wait to see you guys rocking the gear. Whenever you cop something, make sure you post it on IG so I can see it, and then I'll repost it. All right, let's get back to the video. Now when it comes to the plastic arms on the side of the shoe, you're gonna have your white with your blue on the tip right here, and then you're gonna have your blue plastic tips at the front end, standard with your all white laces, your blue mesh and white net behind the tongue and on the side panels, and then on the inside you're gonna have your Nike Air branding with your blue behind the tongue and your classic Air Jordan 4 patch. So that was a quick rundown of the military Air Jordan 4. Now let's go ahead and put them side by side to the Reimagined 4s and then the SB 4s after that. So when I look at these two shoes right here, as of right now, when it comes to overall conversation and what everybody's been talking about, this was originally sneaker of the year, and for some reason now everybody's saying the military blue is the sneaker of the year. Either way, I can tell you right now, a lot of people is going to be rocking these military blues this summer, and I know for a fact they're going to create a lot of memories in them, and I can see why people will put these in their top 10 at the end of the year. Now me personally, I do like darker shoes, but I don't know, I'm not sure how I feel exactly just yet. I haven't fully dissected the military blue 4s just yet, so I'm gonna wait to, you know, share how I feel about it. But I did do a poll on Instagram to see what everybody else thinks, so stick around to see what the results are later in the video. Now, one thing that I noticed when it comes to these two shoes side by side, when I'm looking at the overall materials, it is definitely completely different on the materials. The leather is different, and then obviously the Reimagined 4s does not have that suede material on the mudguard all around the toe, so that's going to be a huge difference on that aspect. But the actual leather and the cut of the materials is going to be a little bit different on these two shoes. It feels different, it has a different texture, it has a different sheen. Now, when I feel on the back tabs on the back end of these two shoes, they're actually pretty similar when it comes to how stiff they are. Now, these are a little bit better than the previous retros from the past. Those things would like shred up your Achilles, it would hurt, it was very uncomfortable to wear. These are a little bit better, they got more give, but I'm telling you right now, the military 4s are not as good as the SB 4s when it comes to the back tab and how soft it is. Now, I'm going to try to put these two shoes side by side and then also do a picture of them going back and forth so you guys can see the shape and configuration of the two shoes, because to me, just feeling it and holding the two shoes, I think that it might be deceiving because one shoe is all black and another one's all white and it's got a little bit more texture with the materials, so I might feel like the nets are smaller on the military blue compared to the Reimagined, but overall it does pretty much look the same, but it might be deceiving because again, you got all black nets, all black mesh. There's not enough depth in the shoe when it comes to the Reimagined to see that separation. I think overall the shape of these two shoes looks pretty identical for the most part. I think on the back end around the heel, the tab area, just below that, you can see the white leather. It does look like it's a little bit higher cut on the military blue 4. Both of these are a size 13. So again, you guys can make your judgments down below in the comment section. Hopefully these pictures are helpful for you guys to kind of see the differences between the two shoes. Now let's take it to the SB 4s. So when it comes to these two shoes, I think this is a dope comparison. And then obviously you have the military blacks as well. The materials, a lot different. You're gonna have a lot thicker of a suede here on the side of the foot, and that's gonna be for protection of the shoe. When you're skateboarding, obviously you're going to need that for traction and more durability and those different elements when it comes to actually skating in the shoe. So I can understand why the materials are going to be different on that aspect, and then obviously the colors and shades are different. Now when I put the materials together and I feel them side by side right here when it comes to the military on the toe box and then the pine green on the toe box, for the most part it feels pretty similar. Now I think when I feel around the back end, around the area of the collar and where you see right there, it does feel a lot softer and has more give compared to the military blue 4s when I do that right here on this part of the foot. So maybe actually low-key the SB4, the materials might, yeah, the leather is nicer on the SB4. That's just kind of what I think. After I feel the materials and it's a lot more stiff and firm back here, yeah, I want to say the leather at least feels nicer. It has that softer feel and that texture to it, because that's what sneakerheads typically want to see, have that softer, that buttery feel when it comes to the leathers. So if you were to feel the two side by side, I would say SB4 wins that battle. So the next part that I noticed on these two shoes as well, if you look at the mudguard on the toe area, you can see that it's a lot higher on the military blue 4s compared to the pine green 4s. And then also on the inside of the foot, if you look here, when you see the photo side by side, you can definitely tell the difference between the two, but it's gonna be a lot higher cut here on the military blue 4. Now what a lot of people were saying is the pine green 4s are the best cut, closest to the original from 1989. But a lot of people have also been recently talking about these military blue 4s, and when I've been looking at photos online, this pair in particular looks like it's a lot closer to the original. So in my opinion, I think this is more superior to all the other pairs when it comes to closest to the originals. But when you look at the pine green Air Jordan 4s, when it comes to the actual materials and the inside of the shoe and the structure, the comfortability and all those other things that come along with wearing the sneaker, this is going to be a better option when it comes to that element. So overall, at the end of the day, initial first impressions of this shoe, I really like these. I'm excited to see what happens this summer. I'm sure a lot of people is going to be pulling off a bunch of outfits, and I'm sure the next sneaker con that I go to, we're going to see a ton of people rocking these. But that's okay, because I still like these at the end of the day, and I am so excited to finally complete this set. We have never seen the Nike Air, again, like I said earlier, on the back of the military blues since the original in 1989. So to finally have the white cements, the fire reds, the Breds, and the military blues all together, it's like completing the entire Infinity Stone set. Like, I feel like I'm in Avengers right now. Now, when it comes to the pine green 4s and the Reimagined Air Jordan 4s, I did a poll result on my Instagram to see what everybody else thinks about the shoes and which one they like the most, which I figured it would probably be the pine greens, but I don't know. Everybody's been talking a lot about these Reimagined, and it's been more accessible, so a lot of people have been able to get their hands on them. So maybe they like this one more, or maybe the new hype of the military blues caused a lot of people to like these ones more. So I asked the question, and this is what the people said. 43% of the people chose the pine green 4s, 32% of the people chose the Reimagined, and 25% of the people chose the military blues. Honestly, that's very interesting because there's been a lot of hype around the military blues lately, and it's crazy to see that they still came in last. But if you guys ever want to vote on any of the polls, make sure you follow me on IG so you can participate in those. And if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see any more, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, and we got a lot more videos coming soon when it comes to the military 4s with the rankings and the full in-depth history and breakdown of this model, because trust me when I tell you, this is a classic that deserves the time. I'll see you guys in another video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm out.
I would never let you down.
Yo, if you made it to the end of this video and want to take your collection to the next level, I built a full community with private meetups with me and other members in the community as well. So if you want to be a part of that and get early access or behind the scene looks on how I run my businesses, this is definitely going to be a place where I can help you scale your collection and potentially start investing in other things outside of sneakers like real estate. So hit the link down below in the description and get signed up, and I'll see you guys on the inside.
It's in my DNA. The only choice I like to make, what I'ma wear today. I would never let you down. It's in my DNA. The only